So what food should you eat after your workout? Well, in a similar way to our pre-workout meal, it depends upon the type of training you're doing. So if we're doing high intensity interval training, then what we want to do is to replenish our glycogen stores, which is our energy stores within our muscles. So we do this by having a certain amount of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Now, in our other video, which is about what is the best diet, and specifically for you, we go into more detail about macronutrients, how many you need. Now, you'd have to perhaps use this to determine how many you need, what is a good amount, so that you don't have too many, otherwise it'll be stored as fat. So if you haven't seen that already, click the link above and it will take you to that video and watch that, and then come back and watch this video about post-workout meals. So now that you've done that, what you need to do is to have more carbohydrates after your workout than in your other perhaps 2 or 3 meals. So this is going to be where you really want to get the carbohydrates in, but you also need protein. Why? Well, protein is there to repair our muscles. It's often seen as the thing that is the holy grail, it's the one macronutrient you really need, but that's not necessarily true. It does have its place and it is important, but it's not the only one that matters. So you do need a good amount of protein. Now, often people have a protein shake. Now, this is good, but having it in meal form is just the same, and it can be easier to have carbohydrates and proteins just in a meal, but it depends upon what time of day you're training, when you're training. So if you are going to have dinner a bit later, then have a protein and carb shake and make sure you're getting some energy back in your body. Now, unless you're going to be doing something active in the evening or later on in the day, then you don't want to have too many carbohydrates. And again, that's based on how much you weigh and different things like that and what you're trying to achieve. Now, if we are doing something like strength training, it's very important to have a good amount of carbs because we'll be very depleted, and it's really going to help us to get stronger if we have a good amount of carbs come in, and also to repair our muscles with the protein. And they will be very torn. It's called micro tears. So your muscles get torn slightly, the protein comes along, repairs them, and it repairs it stronger. Now, there's a lot of debate about whether you get more muscle fibers or they get thicker or they grow in size, but that doesn't really matter. The point is that you need the protein to come and repair the muscles so that you can get better, so you can get stronger, and the muscle will slightly grow. In women, it doesn't grow that much because of a lack of testosterone, but it does slightly. But that's really what you want, because when you start to lose the fat, then the muscle starts to look more toned and give you that figure that you've always wanted. So then we have endurance training. Now, this is something that you'll need to do, is that you need to have a consistent amount of carbs, proteins and fats, because you'll be going through each of those during that long session. So you just need to have a regular amount and not load them after your workout before, but just have a consistent amount so that your body is able to use them when it needs it rather than at a specific time. Because as we said, it will go into your carbohydrates, then fats, then protein stores. But if you've got a constant supply, perhaps having 4 to 5 meals a day is better, because your body can then use it and not start to break down your muscle tissue, which is something that we don't want. So post-workouts meals are very important. They are perhaps more important than your pre-workout meals. So what kind of things should we be having? Well, we can have things like fruit, bananas are a good way to replenish our glycogen stores. But the thing is with that is that they will then give us more energy, which we don't perhaps need it at that point. So perhaps having things like rice is a good one, because it's not going to spike our energy, but it will give us a good amount of carbs to replenish our muscles, but also some energy later on during the day. We could have things like potatoes. Sweet potatoes are great to really replenish, but also give us energy for later on. Our protein sources, we obviously have meat and poultry. Chicken obviously is a very good one because of its low fat content, which is good. But if you are an endurance athlete, then having some fat is perhaps important, as we said, consistent amount. Now, if you are doing HIIT training or strength training, it's not to say that you can't have fat. It's not, again, a bad thing, but having it perhaps earlier in the day is fine, unless you have some sort of reaction when you go to train if you have fat, which some people do. But it is good if you're having a bit longer session than perhaps 30, 40 minutes or to an hour. If you're going past that, then fat will be used. So those are just some pointers to think about for your post-workout meal. Now, there's plenty of other aspects of nutrition that are far more important. Now, if you've liked this video, please hit the like button, smash the subscribe button so you can find out more things about your fitness and your nutrition, because we will be making plenty more videos. We're trying to upload 3 times a week to give you the best knowledge so that you can really achieve your goals in your fitness journey in transforming your body. So comment below if this has helped and anything else that you'd like to see in our videos, and we'll see you then.